Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Fearless Thinking, a podcast designed to help you navigate authentic leadership and the entrepreneurial journey. I'm your host, Michael Devous, and these are my thoughts, lessons, and insights from my entrepreneurial journey into coaching, workshops, motivational speaking, and of course, what I picked up from interviews with inspiring leaders and entrepreneurs along the way. My mission is to help people unlock their untapped potential by using fear as a catalyst for powerful change and growth, so they can step into the greatest version of their most authentic selves. All right, let's get into some fearless thinking. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Fearless Thinking Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Devous, episode 60. 60 episodes. I mean, I guess that's a lot. I don't know. I mean, it's tough to find, trying to figure out how do I find value in 60? Because for me, it's like, I record these things and I share my thoughts and my ideas around them or whatever. And I'm like, well, eventually somewhere a spark is going to happen and something's going to fly. We're going to see progress. We're going to get lots of numbers and subscribers and members. And, I sit in front of this camera. There's nobody on the other side of it, and it can get lonely and isolating. But I somehow believe that on the other side of it, there are people out there, listening and sharing and thinking and pausing and playing and enjoying. And I don't know, it's real for me, I suppose. Maybe that's the actor in me just envisioning the audience, beyond the camera. But episode 60 is a milestone this year. We launched in April. Took some time off in July to August. And we're starting out fall 2024 and episode 60. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be effective. Embracing imperfection for the entrepreneurial success. There is this perfectionism disease, if you will. I think a lot of us as entrepreneurs already have it, because I think we're like type A personalities, alpha dogs, if you want to call it that, perfectionists, whatever it is. There's a part of us that really does seek this concept in our head that something has to be perfected, at least to us, right, to a certain degree, before we put it out into the world, and I think it's important for us to understand that, as perfectionists and stuff, do we find ourselves wrestling with the idea we're endlessly tweaking the website, tweaking our product line, tweaking our sales pitch, tweaking our offer, obsessing over every single detail prior to the launch and agonizing over every single word of the pitch before just getting it done. And if that's you, you're not alone. So many of us do this. I think that's why I like the idea of the Ascend Hub, because we could practice these things with each other in a safe space, in an environment where we could practice the pitch, we could practice the launch, we could practice the website, we could get that. Everyone in the Ascend Hub is a part of a bigger focus group that helps you be successful, right? And so if you're not ready to bring it to market, you're not ready to share it with everybody, but you can share it with us there inside, and we're here to help you with that perfectionist behavior, so it stops holding you back, but gives you a chance to let us get a glimpse at things first. Then you can go back and keep tweaking, but at least you've put it out there. At least you've allowed it to be seen for a moment. Because you know what? It's interesting. Sometimes we are the thing that we get that gets in the way, and the very thing that we should have done is just let it out. just put it up there. As imperfect as we might think it is, as not ready as we might think it is, maybe that's ready for 1,000 people. Maybe that's perfect for 10,000 people. Maybe that is exactly what they needed to see at that time, and we didn't know it, right? And so I think there's some value in helping us understand, helping you understand, helping me understand that that's possible. That just on the other side of our perfectionism is a world of individuals that see what we've done as perfect. already there, right? That on the other side of what we felt was incomplete, not ready, is perfect and ready for so many other people. And there's something to be said for sharing that part of you, that part of your journey, that part of your package, your service, your offerings, your products with the world so that you can hear from them. You can hear from your perfect customer, your client, your audience, whatever it is. So you can hear from them what it is that they need. What, did it land? Did it resonate? And if it did, prior to you thinking it was perfect, how about that? What does that tell you about the product you just created, the service you just created, the offer you just created, if in fact it already was perfect for 10,000 people, right? And you would have spent months tweaking it and waiting, but it was perfect for these people at this time. That's interesting. And I think that's important data for us to gather and have about our process and about what we're delivering and about what happens when we put it out into the world for its own benefit, right? I used to be, well, I still am a card carrying member of Perfectionism Club. I have very specific things that I will grind my teeth on. Brand, website, creative. I just want. But then I realized I got to get it out there. I got to get something up and running. And then I get lost and distracted on other things, other creative projects. And I need to come back to that thing and tweak it a little bit more and tweak it a little bit more and tweak it a little bit more. I think there's always ways to do that. It's like the artist, it's like Van Gogh or Picasso. They had to put their art, they had to let the canvas dry at some time, right? I mean, how did Pollock ever know he was finished with all those dots and splatters? If he didn't step back from the canvas and be like, let the paint dry, people. This canvas is done. I got to move on to a different painting today, right? I thought, in the world of business, that everything had to be flawless before I could put it out into the world. And that's what we strived for in event production and shows, is that we strive for that perfect performance, that perfect execution of something for the client. And that's okay. Strive for that. Live events if it teaches you anything, nothing's ever going to be perfect. You can't plan for the world, the billions of variables that are going to happen at a live event for 1,500, let alone 50,000 people. Like, come on, it's not possible. But what you can do is create a really well-oiled machine and a framework for addressing those variables as they come up. But that mindset of it has to be flawless before it can get out into the world will keep you stuck. I was so afraid of making any mistakes whatsoever that I ended up not making anything at all, like not getting it done and getting it out there. And I've had my sister, among other people, telling me, just get it out there. Get it out there. Get it started. Which is why that's what I did with the Ascend Hub. I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted things to be in there. And then I was like, just open the doors. Just get it up, get it running, open the doors, let people look at it. If they don't like it, fine. They may not. Okay. But at least I did it, and it's up and it's running. And now I can start tweaking the things that are in there. Now I can start playing around with them, adding some new features, some new functions, some new content, programming, workshop, whatever, right? But I have the time to do that. And I now have feedback from individuals who care about it enough to let me know this is what they need beyond my desire for it to be perfect before it reaches them. It's not doing anybody any good sitting on a shelf waiting to become perfect. Nobody gets that benefit at all, right? Perfectionism is a trap. It's not just about wanting to do everything good. It's a fear-based mindset. It is literally the fear of failure and the fear of criticism and the fear of not being good enough coming to light and standing in the way of your project getting done. And it is a real creative killer, right? So we have to shift our focus from effectiveness over perfection, right? How do we break free from the perfectionism mind trap? I mean, I think it's important to understand that chasing perfectionism is like the dragon chasing its tail. I think we should learn to set and establish certain scales of perfect, scales of good, scales of excellence. How about that? Um, every bar that we create for every time we launch a new product or a service or whatever, we have to have a bar of excellence that we would like to achieve in order to make sure that it's ready for public consumption. And I think it's okay to have that bar and know that that bar is an adjustable framework. But you create a base of excellence, right? Which we learn from our value systems and our consistency and our work ethic and all those different things. And from that baseline, we can begin to explore new ways of developing these ideas, these thoughts, these products and services and bringing them into the world. We've already started with a base of excellence here. So it's really not that far to get it out there and get it ready for people to consume and give us feedback on how we can improve it in order to make it better for them. That's really what we're trying to do anyway, right? We want it to serve the public. We want it to serve them where they are. We want it to make sure that it's valuable to them in their circumstance at that time. Well, how do we do that if we don't get feedback from them? Well, in order to get that feedback, we gotta put it out there, right? We're breaking free from that perfectionism trap. It takes practice. We have to shift our minds, and instead of chasing that perfection, we need to focus on effectiveness, right? Excellence and effectiveness. I think excellence is a nice word instead of perfect, because I think excellence can be a bar that is constantly being adjusted and tweaked for us as we learn more about ourselves, about the environment, about the marketplace, and about our customers, right? It means prioritizing progress over perfection, and it means launching that product even if it's not 100% polished. This is the world of Apple. This is the world of iterative technology. This is the world of Kanban. You know, that was introduced to us with the onset of the internet and the new technologies that we use today. The smart machines, computers, phones, tablets, whatever. They had to get these into the hands of consumers in order to get it out and running and get feedback. And what do? They created instant feedback mechanisms so that the current engineers, manufacturers, and developers of these things are tweaking the product that is literally coming down the line with your input and your feedback because you've got the new one in your hand. And then guess what? In 8 months, you're going to change over and buy the next one. Hello, raise your hand if you haven't bought the new fill in the blank every single 12 months, right? It used to be 2 years. Then it went down from 2 years to 18 months, and from 18 months to 1 year, and from now 1 year, I think it's 8 months is the cycle now for the predictability of a new version of that particular product that you have in your hand. And we want the new thing. We want the next thing. We want it because it's improved. New and improved, new and improved, new and improved, right? Half the time I think they come out with new and improved things that don't even improve anything at all. And you're like, what's new and improved about that? You know, it does exactly what it did before. But I bought it anyway because the packaging was pretty and it said it was new and improved. So remember, launch that product even if it's not 100% polished. It means getting your message out there even if it's not perfectly worded. Now, that being said, edit, get grammar correct, people. Like, it's not that hard. Get an editor, check your grammar, check your spelling. Like, the English language, it's what we all use right now. It's what we're using. Please ensure that you are using it correctly and check your spelling, check your punctuation, check that stuff. Because I type like a mess. I swear I'm dyslexic when I type, and that's because I didn't have good typing skills and I never took a typing class. I just bang the keys out with my fingers, and I have to like look at them if I'm going to do it right because I don't have them memorized, and I misspell so many things all the time. I'm constantly putting it into a spelling thing and checking my spelling and checking my grammar, and I value that personally. I think that's valuable. And if you're going to put work out there, you're going to put copy out there. It may not have to be perfectly worded, but it better be well spelled and it better be grammatically correct. So at least keep it. That's your bar of excellence. Okay, that's the bar. Perfectly worded is up here. Bar of excellence is spelling and grammar. Okay, we can all agree that that's common. It's easy to do. It's literally written in books for us, so we can keep our bar of excellence at that level for us. At the Ascend Hub, understanding that perfection is part of our process and part of our success, and we encourage experimentation and iterative processes, learning from our mistakes. And they're not mistakes. That's just, learning from, I wish there was a different word for it. A mistake that you learn from isn't a mistake. It's a lesson. That's all. It's just a great lesson. And you've added a piece of technology, a piece of information, a piece of data, and experience into your tool chest that you haven't had before. That's valuable. That's not a mistake. So your lesson, you're learning that, it's not a mistake. So, yeah, anyway, creating environments in our community that is a safe space where you can test your ideas. We are the focus group where you can bring all that stuff to us and then try them out. If you need that feedback and you want that iterative process before going to market with your message, with your mission, with your product and your services, then the Ascend Hub can be a great incubator space to help you test some of those things first before bringing it out into the world, which I think is great. I love that because it's a small test group and it's enclosed, it's private. We're a private group, and we're not gonna eat your lunch over it. We're just gonna help you tweak it and get that feedback that you want. But we're also going to encourage you to get it out there. Stop procrastinating because your ideas are important and the world needs to hear them. So if you're ready to ditch that pursuit of perfectionism and just embrace the messy, beautiful life that is in the process of creating something truly effective, then you can join us at the Ascend Hub and let us help you unleash your entrepreneurial potential. Tell me your story. Tell me your pitfalls and the things that get in your way and your struggles with perfectionism. I'd love to hear more about that. And thank you for joining me this week, episode 60. Happy Friday, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't chase perfection. Just chase excellence. That's all you got to do. You know what I mean? Keep that bar moving. And have a wonderful weekend. Think fearlessly. Be good to yourselves and to everybody else. All right? Stay safe. And I will see you next week. Bye.